This is the Traveler 4-tube portable radio, model 5019. I replaced the caps in it many years ago, but never did a video on it, so I thought I'd do one today. Here's the power supply I'm using, and here's the connections to the radio. Okay, I'm going to turn on the power supply. We've got 1.5 volts here, and we've got 67 volts between here and here. Turn on the radio. Turn up the volume all the way. Tune through this. We're not getting anything. But I'm going to disconnect the positive on the 67. And we can hear noise. So that should mean that the audio output tube is working, and at least the speaker is working. So I'm going to take this out and see if we can't get it going. I'm going to have to unsolder the antenna here to get the radio out of the cabinet. Well, that was disappointing. So we're going to have to look into it, see why it's not working. Here's the wiring diagram. And all the way to the left is the antenna. And below are the coils for the oscillator, and they get mixed in the first tube, and what is filtered out is the 455 intermediate frequency that goes through the first IF can. It gets amplified and then goes to the second IF can, and the secondary, by the way, of that second IF can is also tuned to 455. But it is changed to audio by the third tube because it has a diode in it. Then this audio goes through the volume control, gets amplified, and gets sent to the audio output tube, and it is strong enough now to drive a speaker. And if you want much more detailed information on how this works, just go to my YouTube channel, click on the search channel, and search for Super Heterodyne. Here I'm taking the chassis out of the cabinet. Just pull the knobs off and the chassis slides right out. I always like to do the easy stuff first. So I decided to check the tubes, and they all check good. Okay, I'm going to try and determine if the oscillator is working in this. All the tubes check good. And here I've got a transistor AM radio, and it's set to about 90. Let's see here. Now the antenna is in around this box here, so I'm going to set that close to the antenna. Okay, that's on. Turn on power. Turn on the radio. I'm going to tune around. That's what I was looking for. Now I'm going to turn off the radio and see if it goes away. Yep. So it appears that the oscillator is working. Well, it is nice to know that the oscillator is working. So here I'm checking all of the plate voltages, and here are the results, and they all look good. So I'm beginning to scratch my head a little bit. So I get out the signal tracer, and the signal tracer is set to trace RF, and here is a short video on what I found. Okay, I checked the voltages and they seem to be good. Now I've got my signal tracer on. You can probably hear a little bit of the local station. I got this tuned to another station. Show you what I found. I'm going to put my probe right here on the plate again. And that is right here.
News Center, I'm Bruce Farrell. Scott, well, coming up in just...
Okay, so we got a nice strong signal there. Now I'm going to put the signal tracer right here on the plate of the 1U4. Now it's a little hard to find. Let's see here. Be careful not to short anything out.
That continues on through Gary, in through the work zone 48 stalls.
So we got a good signal there. Okay, well, I'm going to continue on checking this part out here, and I'm going to have to move stuff around so I can get to it. So I'll stop this right now. I got a signal here, which sounded pretty good, and I also got a signal here on the second IF can also. But when I changed the signal tracer to audio and started checking at the volume control, I didn't get anything anyplace else. And all the tubes are good and the voltages are good. So I decided I'll get my audio generator out. I got it on 400 hertz, and I injected a signal. Same thing, nothing, except when I injected a signal at the audio output tube, that's the 3S4, I would get a signal sometimes. And this is really strange. And then something happened, and I figured out what the problem was. Okay, this is what I did. This is the 3S4. There's just a little bit of WD-40 on this Q-tip, and all I did was do this, go all the way around, and then on the inside also. And then I just plugged it back in. Let's see here. Line up the holes here. Then I exercised it in the socket, like that. And I did each tube. And then the radio started to play. So there wasn't anything wrong with the circuit. Like I said, I went all over the place, and the signal stopped right at the volume control. And didn't go any farther. And then I put a tone here, and sometimes I'd get it, and sometimes I wouldn't. And so I go, what could cause that? Then I notice was messing around with it, and then this tube came on. I was getting some noise out of it, and it came up slowly, which means the filament was heating up. I go, dirty tube sockets.
Children as compared to flu outbreaks in the past. Over 288 between 2009 and 2010. So far this season, the virus has killed more than 30.
Now, the reason why I had some corrosion on those tube sockets is because you can see here, this is the back of the radio. On the left side, that's where the 2 AA batteries are stored. And they obviously got corroded, and those fumes from those batteries got up into the radio.
Behind fences is, this is just two.
The cameras at the Veterans Bridge. If you're running late for the Pens game, no problems. Street, WBT. Street obligation. Cut to the chase. When you.
Oh, here's the up-to-the-minute weather forecast brought to you by
DrBacker.com. Dr. Michael Backer, D.C., your natural weight loss and diabetes solution.
Clearing tonight, a low of 25. An N4 tomorrow, a lot of sunshine with a much milder afternoon, a high of 51. Increasing clouds tomorrow night, a low 37. The outlook for Saturday, mostly cloudy, mild. Occasional rain in the afternoon and evening, a high of 48. Frankie Weather, I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers on News Radio 1020 KDKA.
It is 28 degrees at Pittsburgh International. It's 7:06. Our next news at 7:30. I'm Rose Ryan Douglas on the Voice of Pittsburgh. News Radio 1020 KDKA.
News is at 70.
Now the radio is playing quite well, even picked up KDKA, and I'm in North Carolina. It sounds really good and should perform really well. I'm going to do some DXing on AM tonight with it, just see how many stations I can pick up. Thanks for watching.